Dr. Kunal. How are you?
Hi, good afternoon. I'm good.
Thank
Sorry for the slight technical glitch. I
It
had to log
always
in from the
happens.
phone.
It always, with Instagram as a medium, we realize that this technical glitch is always the start. All conversations on Instagram start with a technical glitch. So we're very
All right.
on track.
As long as it's a good discussion.
Yes, absolutely. So we'll keep it short, Dr. Kunal. I know you're
Yeah.
very, very busy. So, of course, thank you for taking out the time to speak to us. Just to introduce
Not at all.
the topic
Pleasure.
to our audience, Dr. Kunal is at Max
Yeah.
Vets. And today we're going to be talking about puppy mills and the unethical practices that are quite prevalent in the pet industry across India. Now, I wanted to start with just an anecdote. I brought a puppy home a couple of months ago, and within 2 days, that puppy, he wasn't eating, he was vomiting. And being somebody who's owned dogs previously, I knew that were not good signs. I rushed him to the vet, and obviously his condition got worse. And within the next day, he was diagnosed with parvovirus and canine coronavirus, admitted to the hospital for 10 days on a drip, fighting for his life. And while I was speaking to the vets that were treating him, I came to know that this is actually quite common in India, that there are a lot of sick puppies that are coming in at very young ages for diseases that are actually quite preventable if there's just a vaccination schedule that's followed, if hygienic conditions are kept, or if mothers are vaccinated. So I just wanted to just throw you on the spot a little bit and ask you about your personal experience. Have you seen this? I mean, do you see like a large number of unwell animals coming in?
So, when we were constructing the hospital, so we constructed a different section for contagious diseases, it's a different floor. And we were in two minds whether to do so or not. I would say that it's always full. That's the prevalence rate of distemper, parvovirus. It's really, really high. Unfortunately, there are very few, and I would say maybe less than 10%. There's no specific data available or statistics available on this, but it's less than 10% good breeders or ethical breeders, or you could say that who are better breeders, who would follow some norms, who would stick with outbreeding or line breeding, avoid inbreeding, or have the puppies vaccinated, mothers vaccinated, not have more than 1 litter in 2 years, and so on. But the 90% or maybe even more of the breeding which is happening in this country, especially during the COVID times, during the lockdown, we saw a sudden surge in number of puppies who were being registered and coming to us. And where were all these puppies coming from? There aren't any structured, organized breeding units. You can actually count 10 on your fingers. They're very few. So the remaining puppies, all these puppies are coming from what we call puppy mills, which is basically unhygienic, poor hygiene, poorly ventilated, forcefully bred, kept in small cages with wire floors, which affects their digits and paws, malnourished, overbred mothers, and these puppies are separated at a very, very early stage. They're when they're supposed to be with their siblings, when their social skills are still developing, they are separated from the mothers because the breeders, these so-called breeders, would want to get rid of them as soon as possible, and you pocket in the money. Now, because they don't receive their mother's milk, maybe sometimes the mother is also not vaccinated. So these puppies in poor hygiene and poor ventilation and poorly nourished puppies, malnourished puppies, have a immune compromised status. On top of that, there is no concept in these guys of line breeding because the laws are not enforced. So there is no concept of line breeding or outbreeding. So they have been inbred. Inbreeding means that closely related individuals are bred, and which causes a suppression in the immune system or poorly developed immune system. So they have accumulation or they have precipitation of certain genetic factors which lead to certain genetic diseases being predisposed to them. So they're predisposed to certain diseases, and with this poor immune system, they are prone to catching parvovirus, distemper virus, or they have skin issues, demodectic mange, or they are loaded with ticks even when they come to the house. And they come to good houses. I mean, we have clients who take very good care of of their puppies or kittens for that matter, but they're loaded with ticks and fleas. Sometimes they're really dirty. Having said that, we also have to take into consideration that there are some good breeders too, and those are the ones who should be encouraged, or those are the people who should be brought into a system where they help us structuring this unstructured industry.
Absolutely. And, I didn't realize, I'm somebody who, well, there's a problem at the consumer side as well. We are buying dogs from without doing our homework, or pets without doing our homework. And that's something
We
that I
do
didn't
bargain.
realize. Sorry?
We do bargain. See, we do bargain.
Exactly.
We do not ask for certificates. We do not ask for the age of the puppy. We don't want to see the parents. We don't insist on seeing the parents of the puppy. And it's not, I'm not saying that it's the common man does not know this. There is lack of awareness. I think it's a...
Absolutely. There is, I think there is a lack of awareness, and sort of, because I'm someone who reads. I consider myself fairly aware of everything that's going on, and I've always seen the adopt, don't shop, messages. I have a lot of friends that are very, very, they stand by it very resolutely. But when it came to looking for a dog, I don't know, I also just fell into this trap of thinking that, yeah, there were breeders, there's no such, this unethical practices are being exaggerated. And then, Dr. Kunal, when I found out where my puppy was from, I found out that not only was he from a puppy mill, one of the largest puppy mills in India, but there was an ongoing paro outbreak at that puppy mill that every middleman knew about, every pet shop knew about, and they were still bringing in puppies to that place and, selling puppies from there. So just sort of, those puppies didn't have a chance. And the more people I spoke to, there were so many people with the same story. So from the consumer end, Dr. Kunal, can you outline certain things that we can do to make sure that we are buying from ethical breeders? I know you listed a few of those points, but just to elaborate on them.
So I'll just give you a brief background of where the puppies are coming from. So we have pet shops in Mumbai, Delhi, Calcutta, metros, and even B towns have pet shops now. These pet shops are procuring these puppies. They're getting these puppies from elsewhere. So when we say that unstructured breeders or backyard breeders, so there are 3-4 different kinds. So we have these slum clusters in Mumbai. We have slum clusters in and around Delhi, for example. So these slum clusters, these breeders give them dogs to keep in a small little small little house, in a room rather. They're caged and they're kept in there, and then they're bred over there. So they get about 500 to 1,000 bucks per puppy to when the puppy is sold. Now these are so these puppies are coming from either these slum clusters or the backyard breeders, where in a small house the backyard will be full of dogs. Or even in farmhouses. So when you go to the outskirts in Haryana, UP, Punjab, so they on the farms they have given a section where they are breeding, but there is no scientific way of breeding or scientific knowledge, in-depth knowledge about when to breed, how to breed, why not to breed from certain mothers, and so on. Also, the 90% of these, 10% are good ones, but the 90% of these, so these guys will now sell the puppy, bring the puppy to Delhi. Let's say from Meerut the puppy comes to Delhi. Now there is a litter of 4, so these 4 puppies are here. There is a network of breeders, so the network of breeders will be forwarding pictures. One breeder will quote you an X amount, another breeder will quote you an X plus something, X plus Y, another one will say X plus Z. But it's the same puppy, and the same puppy might be available at different pet shops, because when you go to the pet shop, so they will say, okay, 2 hours later, 5 p.m. the puppy is coming. So there'll be a small little basket. There'll be a biker who will put the puppy in a basket, and when you reach the pet shop, so he is there, and then quickly they're cleaning and spraying powder or perfume, and this basket is used to carry one puppy from point A to point B. From point B, they'll pick up another puppy. They'll go to point C. If there is one puppy which is infected at point A and has been carried in that basket, it is the next puppy who comes into that basket, because it's not sanitized and cleaned. So the next puppy who comes in will also acquire parvovirus or whatever disease is there, if it's a contagious disease. So I think awareness when you're buying a puppy, first of all, buying or adopting, uh, please consider whether what is your family structure, how much space you have, how much time you can devote. See, we have to be responsible pet parents. We have to be responsible animal parents, right? So it's important to understand that there are different breeds and different breeds have different kind of temperament. That's why the structure, family structure, they also have different requirements, food requirements, exercise requirements. So it's important to select the right kind of breed that you're getting in. There is a little research that one must do. Where is the puppy coming from? Insist on seeing the parents, insist on Kennel Club of India papers, insist on the vaccination records, the deworming records. Also, try and not get a puppy before they are 7 to 8 weeks of age, so that at least they've been with their mother, they've had mother's milk, at least they've had 2 doses of deworming, 1 or 2 doses of vaccine, so that they're better protected.
Absolutely.
And get in touch with a veterinarian. Definitely get a veterinarian to check the puppy. Do not just buy a puppy from. So a lot of breeders will say, no, don't go to the clinic. They will, the puppy will catch infection. That's because they want to avoid that time. But your veterinarian is your friend. So together, it's a joint effort. Together as a family, and your family veterinarian will select the right puppy, a healthy puppy, and the development of the puppy is completely reliant on this. So be friends with your doctor and don't be scared of the doctor. They will be very, very helpful and important in selecting the right kind of puppy.
I think that's very important advice, and I think that could be a easy starting point for anybody who's looking to get a dog, a puppy, whether it's adopting or buying, is to consult a veterinarian and make sure that you're going through the checks that should be in place to ensure that you're getting a healthy dog home. One thing I wanted to ask you, Dr. Kunal, was that when I got very upset about everything that had happened and I looked at taking legal action, I found out that there was very little legal recourse that was available. One is that there's, of course, like you said, it's all unregulated. In different parts of the world, let's say in the West, you do have certain guidelines and rules that are in place as far as breeding is concerned. In India, we don't seem to have that. Not only that, animal cruelty is actually not a very punishable offense. When I spoke to a lawyer, they told me you have a better chance making a case out for fraud than you do in trying to prove to the government that these animals are being abused over here, So I found that very interesting. Now, I just wanted, and I know you worked in the UK as well, where things are a lot more regulated than they're here. I wanted to get an understanding of what exactly is the problem as far as regulation is concerned.
So selling is legal in India. So seller should be registered with the Animal Welfare Board of India, which is a state affair. So the State Animal Welfare Board of India, they should be registered, which I think very few would be registered. But technically, if they're registered with the State Animal Welfare Board of India, and if they are following the guidelines which are under pet shop rules, which has just been framed actually, and the policy has been framed in 2018. It's not implemented widely, but there is a policy. There are and there is a dog breeding and marketing rules which from 2017. So, but commercial dog breeding is regulated by rules. It's not that it's not. It's just the implementation. So commercial dog breeding is regulated by rules framed under the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals. It's an act from 1960. If you, your lawyer friend can probably should ask for the Act, Animal Cruelty Act 1960. And the relevant rules are under the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, Dog Breeding and Marketing 2017. Now, there are, which actually specifies that if for the dog breeders or the pet shops, how to keep the dog, how many times you can breed the mother, how many litters you can take, how much space you need to have a particular breed, and so on. So those things are there. Also, in addition to that, there is also, fortunately, the fine. You're right that the cruelty fine was only 50 rupees. You could get away with a murder in 50 rupees. And now that's been fortunately increased, and there is a lot of awareness which is there in the Indian society. There I'm actually quite proud that nowadays we have 50% Indian dogs who are coming in, or Indian billies which are right from the street. So there are a lot of people who are adopting dogs. Having said that, that is also fine, but there are pedigree dogs as well, and there's nothing wrong. They've not done any crime that you don't get a pedigree dog. So both is fine, whatever works for any family. It's important just to understand that each and every breed, or even the Indian dogs who are on the street, they all have different temperaments. So whatever suits your family structure, and if you can offer that level of exercise that a particular breed needs, so you adopt or buy accordingly. So these laws are there. I would say that it's a joint effort from the media, the NGOs, the animal workers, the Animal Welfare Board of India. There are some lawyers, the PFA is there, there is PETA is there. A lot of people are working, a lot of veterinarians are working. There is a Veterinary Council of India. In fact, there is a new ministry which was formed in 2019. So the veterinary industry has been under Ministry of Agriculture, but 2019 a new ministry has been formed, Dairies and Fisheries and Animal Husbandry, where the policies are being framed. So this is the right time to voice out the concerns, so that when the policies are being, and as the implementation starts, so the implementation comes with force. It has to be, without implementation, the policies have, there is no point having the policy if it's not being implemented. So implementation is the key. And as long as, even if it's a gradual implementation, but as long as we are moving in the right direction, I think we are good. Awareness and being together, fighting for the right cause, and being very, very consistent in it is what we should focus on.
And that's what my last parting question to you would be, Dr. Kunal. I mean, are you optimistic? I mean, for somebody who has been, in this profession for as long as you are, and like you said, your contagious diseases unit is always chock-a-block full. Given all of that as a reality, are you optimistic that we're seeing an improvement, or we will over time, in how we treat our pets?
I am optimistic, definitely. I would say I'm optimistic because the awareness is increasing. We do see a lot of youngsters these days who are genuinely concerned about the animals. The new generation is more aware, and I can say that we have centers in Delhi, Mumbai, Pune, Hyderabad. We are in a patient in the entire year. We would probably see one or two at the most. So there are certain areas, and this is very area specific. So there are certain areas where you hardly see parvovirus because there's more awareness. There is more, people are better, they know how to get a puppy home, how to get, when to get the vaccinations. Either they read more or they're better connected with their doctors. But there are certain areas where there is a high prevalence. Also, India is such a vast country that we have different areas. So north, south, east, west, we have different weather conditions. So due to that, there are different seasons where you see a surge in parvo cases, you see a surge in tick fever, you see a surge in certain kind of diseases, skin diseases and all. So I think awareness is the key, and that is improving, that is getting better. So I'm very, very hopeful. I'm highly optimistic that there will be a time when we will be happy and perhaps, if not disease free, but our diseases will definitely go down. The implementation of the policies, framing and implementation of the policies is playing a key role, is playing a vital role, and I'm very, very optimistic for future.
That's really reassuring to hear, because, when you sort of are confronted with, unwell animal, and you're sort of just like finding out things, and it all seems so dire at one level. So I'm really sort of reassured to hear you say that you're optimistic. We won't take any more of your time, Dr. Kunal. You've sort of answered everything. I think you very clearly outlined what people can do, what the legal provisions are, why implementation is an issue. And I think we all should do a little better by our pets, whether it's on the supply side or on the demand side. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for bringing your expertise and shining the light.
Thank you. Thank you for hosting me. It was really nice. All the best.
Thank you so much, Dr. Kunal. Goodbye.